Hello, my name is Harsha Senratna. Today I'm here with Christine Long, who's the founder of the Australian Aromatic Essences, and we're going to discuss what the Australian Aromatic Essences are all about. Welcome, Christine.
Thank you, Harsha. Lovely to be here. Looking forward to it.
Look, Christine, I'd like to ask you, are the essences just that? Is it just an aromatic essence, or is it more than that?
Well, yes, they are. They really come available for the new paradigm. We're moving and shifting our consciousness at a very exponential rate, and we have a lot more issues that we have to address than we did, say, 10, 20 years ago. And so these essences, the Australian aromatic essences, are really for this time to assist people and to facilitate people to move through their blockages and what they need, what's holding them back. So they're more than just, when we talk about aromatherapy, pure essential oils, they can be exceptionally supportive in people's well-being, especially when they're a high-grade, high-quality essential oil. That's very important, and in fact we use high-grade pure essential oils in Australian aromatic essences as well. However, it's really important to get the distinction between what we're actually talking about here, and the difference is that the essences, the Australian aromatic essences, are transformational. They're designed to work at a very high vibration, a high frequency, and they work energetically in a way that clears blockages for people. And whereas essential oils, they'll support someone's well-being, but they won't necessarily transform. So, and they can sometimes work on an emotional level, but they don't necessarily transform to another level. And that's what Australian aromatic essences are for, is to help support people on their personal and spiritual development, and to, as we say, create the life that you really desire and deserve.
So so you said they're for people, are they for people who are going through difficulties, or can anyone use them?
Well, in fact, more or less anyone can use them. I suppose with anything, there's always sometimes an exception. I guess if people are very allergic to a pure essential oils, there might be a contraindication there. The fact that you don't actually apply them on the body, you might find that a person will still be able to utilize the Australian aromatic essences, and the fact that they're such a high vibration, what they would normally be allergic to, they may not be. But that's a very individual situation, and people who are prone to being very sensitive and very allergic to lots of things would perhaps have to make sure that they weren't allergic to Australian aromatic essences as well.
Yeah.
But in answering your question, children can use them, the elderly can use them, anyone that is drawn to and aspiring to moving to a new level in their life, in their own consciousness, in their mindset, their emotional well-being and balance, addressing limited behaviour patterns, anything that's holding them back. In particular, even business people and people with an entrepreneurial aspiration, that those sort of people want to move through what's holding them back on some level, and they already have the understanding that they are, whatever's going on in their life, in some level is a reflection of what's going on within them. And using the Australian aromatic essences as a tool to support them in their own facilitation process can help accelerate their transformation and their personal growth to move closer to and towards what they're aspiring to.
So it could be for someone who's going through, I guess people in general tend to go towards something to support them when they are in difficulty, rather than be more proactive. That's more human nature. But how how can someone pick one of these essences, or do they pick one or more?
Okay, well, there's varying levels that people work with them. You've got your very dedicated people who have been using them for some time and really understand them on many levels, and they might use more than one essence. And they're experienced at using them. However, it's really important not to underestimate just using one essence. Uh, when you get the right essence, it can be very, very specific to what you require, and you can get some exceptional support in your process and transformation. And there's many ways you can choose an essence. Just the name may resonate very strongly to someone, and they'll choose the essence from that. There's quite a detailed profile, uh, an in-depth information about the essence that people like to read. There's an intention phrase. It's a very concise sentence that may ring true to someone, and they're drawn to it. There are key words which have a unlimited or the blockage. So sometimes people are more aware of what the blockage is, and so when they read the key words, that'll resonate with them because they're aware of their blockage. Some people might be aware of what they really aspire to. They don't really understand what's holding them back, but they do know what they really desire to be. So maybe the keywords, the unlimited keywords might resonate. So there's no real cut and dry rule. There are many ways, even the aroma itself, the colours, each essence, many of them have a certain colour, and people are drawn to that. And the other thing that we have developed is the inner insight mastery reading technique and consultation. And there's one online where you can easily go online, and it's a free reading online where you can pick particular purple gems that then pick that then bring up the specific insight and message on a card.
So
And then,
how would someone know they've picked the correct one?
well, when they follow the procedure online, it's very straightforward. You just need to center yourself and relax, take a couple of deep breaths, and then just clear the mind and just ask for the priority essence that's right for you.
Okay.
And when that happens, then they look at the gems and they choose a gem. It's really working with the power of the oracle and their higher self and their subconscious mind. And even though it's online, it's very, very accurate. And then, so a person can have access to that 24 hours a day. So if they're struggling at any point, they can get online and start to uncover what's holding them back, and then access the tool. They can purchase the essence online, which is very convenient and very easy. Or if they prefer a more personal touch, they can contact myself, who can put them on to various trained consultants who can also facilitate them in a snapshot reading, which is free at the initial reading, or there is a full in-depth consultation, and there is a fee for that. And within that consultation, we'll uncover also the person's priority essence at the end of the consultation.
Okay. So Christine, so someone's either picked one, or they've gone to the Inner Insight Mastery online and picked one, or they've had a consultation with you. How do they actually use it?
Okay, so what would happen is that if you had your priority essence with you, it's in a mist form, and you spray it above your head. And when you spray it above your head, I know that can sound a little bit strange initially, but the idea behind it is it's going into the soul star chakra, and it's going into the higher mind. And then as it filters through, and all the droplets filter through to your energy matrix, because we acknowledge that we're more than the physical. So it starts to work energetically through your energy matrix, your energy body intelligence that has its own intelligence and knows exactly what you require for your own highest good. And so when you're using your priority essence, and it's specifically facilitating and working in harmony and in balance with your own vibration, it starts to work with you and mirror to you what the blockages are, and your energy body intelligence clears it for you. So it's working in conjunction with what you require, and it works in harmony with you. And it also works with the limbic system of the brain where you store your deep core emotions. And so it's facilitating you, when you apply it, it facilitates you depending on which essence, 8 to 12 hours. And so when you use the essences as suggested, which is depending on the essence, twice or 3 times a day, you're getting 24 hours of facilitation until the bottle is empty. And that ensures that you're getting the appropriate facilitation and transformation um, over a period of time to take you to that next level. So it's not like you just get a little hit and that helps just in the moment. It's actually a process. And when you follow the process, it'll take you through to the next level.
Now, it sounds like it's something energetic. It's not just the physical. Is that right?
Yes, that's right. It is, and it's important to acknowledge how essential and crucial that is, because a lot of the time, our resistances, our blockages, our imbalances, the way we emotively respond to situations in our life are actually within our energy makeup. And so we need to be able to look at ourselves holistically. And often when people are working on themselves, they consciously know what they want to change or what they want to improve. But only working with that consciously, it can be only part of the picture, and sometimes only a very small part of the picture, because it's not the root cause. It's not what is actually really going on. It's only a byproduct of what's going on. So people can get very sidetracked in addressing stuff that's going on in their life that they're aware of, and they tend to chase their tail a bit because it's not really getting to the root cause. Where the essences, once we've ascertained it through the processes I've just mentioned earlier, whether it's an online reading, a snapshot consultation, or being drawn to the essences in a number of ways that I've just mentioned, when you're actually using the essence, it's working with you 24/7 at an energy core level. And over a period of time of using it, it starts to clear and transform those blockages. And you take in the higher level, the higher vibration. So you start to operate at a whole new level and you shift your consciousness.
So, Christine, I understand it's energetic, and there's people with many different beliefs and different backgrounds. Do you think people have to actually believe in this for it to work, or if they can just get out of their own mind, out of the way of their own minds, do you think, and use it? Do you think it'll work?
Um, well, it does. You don't necessarily have to believe in it to work, but we do have free will. So we can, with our own mind, block things and, hinder things. So it depends on what level we're talking about. It's important to realize, though, there are many things in our life that we don't fully understand, but we still use
Yeah.
and get great benefit from. And technology is a prime example of that. Every time I switch the electric light on, I really do not understand how that works. And you could even explain it to me till you're blue in the face, and I'd probably nod, but it would just go completely over my head, really, and I'd only take in little bits of information and think it's all very fascinating, but I still, even after putting a lot of energy into explaining it to me, I still don't understand. And so I suppose in fairness, we could say that about the essences to a degree. It's not hard to understand, but if you're not that way inclined, and there's a certain level of resistance of not understanding that we're more than the physical, and we do have an energy body, and we do have um, certain frequencies within our makeup, and this is scientifically proven through quantum science. If there's a lot of resistance to acknowledging that, and you just think that's just not possible, you're probably not ever going to use the essences, to be honest. But if for some reason you did, if you just use them without consciously blocking them and just used them and thought, well, whatever, I'm just going to use it anyway,
Yep.
they would work in harmony with your energy.
Yep.
Absolutely. But the irony is that generally people would have to have some appreciation of what they're doing or how they work, or some understanding of being more than the physical, or understanding, the nervous system and and that that's the limbic system of the brain, where the deep core emotions are held. They have to have some understanding of the mind body connection, and the energy connection within it, really, to want to use the essences.
Okay. So how and I think from the logo and the banner, is it just for women, or can men use it too?
Yeah, well, it's not. It is for everyone, and there are men that use the essences, and the ones that do absolutely love them, and they absolutely get it, and they really enjoy the simplicity of it, because men don't like things to be too complicated, and they like it to do things that are easy and simple, and not get too bogged down. And I suppose, and I probably can get away with saying this because I'm a woman, but we do tend to complicate things a little bit more. And so the men that use them love them and really get a lot of benefit from them. And because they approach things very objectively and very pragmatically, once they get the essence and they understand them and they start using them, it's they just see it as a real tool for their development, and it makes sense to them. Uh, but for women, because statistically it's proven that women are more into their personal growth and personal development with men, and that is changing a lot, because I've been in this industry for 25 years, and it's certainly changing. There are far more men getting involved in their growth and personal development, and understanding the importance of well-being and their mind-body connection. But I would have to say there are more women using the essences than men, but it's not just for women.
Okay.
Absolutely not.
Okay. Now, I think at the end of the day, though, people in general, they just want results. So, what we might have already touched on this, but how what can they expect? So they start using the essences. What can they expect? Like, would they see re- things change around them, or their experiences within a day, a week, a month, or does it take longer? Or
Okay. Well, I suppose it does vary for an individual and their sensitivity and their level of block and how conscious they are of where they're at, and then the changes. I just did a workshop on Friday night, for example, and there were people in the room that had not been exposed to the essence at all and knew nothing about them. And at the beginning of the meditation, I sprayed everyone with Sanctuary, which is a good all-round essence that just helps clear a lot of negativity and frazzled energy and stuff. And it was perfect to just settle everybody and just help people relax and get centered. And of course, on a Friday night after a big week, everyone comes in ready to, for this workshop, but they're bringing in their whole week's worth of stress and issues and stuff, and feeling tired and what have you. And one lady in particular, but a few commented, but one lady in particular commented, I feel better already.
yeah,
So that was one, that's an instance, and that is not uncommon. But the important thing is, it isn't about just the quick fix with the essences. It is great when you use them, you can get a certain, what I call a hit immediately, because it's immediately working with your vibration and with your energy and with your energy body intelligence. And that's great. Some people may not get that hit. It doesn't mean that it's not working. However, the key is that then when you use them as recommended, with what I was saying earlier, that transformation will keep unfolding. So
and,
if you're
and,
doing it, if you're
and
using,
sorry,
sorry.
so Christine, and have you seen that kind of transformation in people's lives?
Well, yes, by their feedback, absolutely. So
Yeah.
if they've got an issue with finding work, the essence doesn't make them get a job. What it does, it clears whatever is blocking or holding them back from the worthiness of getting a job, or whatever's going on for them. Once they refine their vibration and clear the limitations or the beliefs around that, they might end up going and getting a job. Or if it's an entrepreneur that wants to move through some blockages around their business, attracting more clients, for example, or wanting to expand their business or increase their bottom line. As an entrepreneur, their business really is about them. So if there's issues going on in their business or limitations, when they use the essence, they often find that those issues start to resolve. And that's going by feedback from people. And it's a subtle thing, but also a tangible thing as time goes on. And often we have to look back quite intensely to actually see the difference, because once the realities change, for example, if we use that analogy of an entrepreneur attracting more clients, when the phone starts ringing, they just pick up the phone and start answering the calls and taking on the new clients, and they might be using the essence. Then they have to relate that back to the fact that, oh, that's different to what it was before. But sometimes, depending on how aware the person is, they may not notice that immediately. It's only if they look back and go, well, actually 2 months ago it was different, and now I've got more clients. The only thing I've been doing differently really is the essence, and that may mean that they've started to cold call more. It may mean that they've actually taken some action to create more clients, but the essence has helped their vibration shift to take the appropriate action. So it really comes back to the individual and what resistances or blockages are preventing them in their life. And once that's cleaned up, then the external results start to change. The
Yeah.
same in I'll just explain this as well. It's the same in relationships. Someone might be having trouble with their husband, or they're not getting on, or they feel that there's difficulties. When they shift their vibration, they can think the husband has changed, or the issue that was going on between them doesn't matter anymore. And it may even be there, but it doesn't matter to the person, or it may have just dissolved. And it's only if they look back and remember that it's different, where they might just take it for granted that that's no longer an issue. So that's where it's a little tricky. But when you're shifting your consciousness, that's what you really want, because you want to be able to move through life with more ease. And that's what the essences support people in doing.
Okay, so do you find, I know there's a number of different types of essences. What are some examples of them? And do you find people use more of one type, or it depends on the situation?
I suppose one of the couple that are right up there as very popular. This first one I mentioned earlier was Sanctuary, because that is a good all-round one, and it can be used for sort of everything. And it's great for meditation, for stress. It's great for children when they're, being bit hypo, or when there's a lot of stress and tension. It's really great for practitioners to set up a really good space for people. So that's a good all-round one. And the other one, which is also very popular, is Life Force, because that really helps shift the energy when we're feeling very fatigued and we've been around a lot of electromagnetics and on computers. We can feel quite drained, or we're looking after our health, but we're just not getting the result we want. Or we know we should look after our health, but we're just not disciplined enough to do it. The Life Force can clear the blockages for us to do what we need to do for our health or get the results we want. And it just cleans up our energy if we've picked up a lot of extraneous stuff that's drained us. So the Life Force and Sanctuary are sort of up there as probably one of the most popular. But
Okay.
then from that point on, there's an essence for all sorts of stuff. There's harmony, abundance, courage, flexibility, passion. So depending on what the individual requires, then they would use that particular essence, and that's classified as their priority essence.
And you've got different categorizations as well, correct?
That's right. So we've got a mindset, a soul, and an emotion mastery range. It doesn't mean that if you use the mindset, that's all it'll do. but it focuses at the core of the mindset and then ripples out to the rest of your energy matrix and energy body intelligence. If you were using a soul mastery, it would actually focus on the soul aspect of the block and then ripple out to the other areas. And then there's two other ranges, which is a behavior. And the behavior mastery is very important because often we'll clear blockages, but we'll keep falling back into an old pattern. And so we might move forward in some respects in clearing stuff or uncovering what's holding us back. But when something happens, we'll fall back into an old pattern. So the behavior mastery is excellent for unraveling those behavior patterns and really collapsing them and resolving them. And then there's a life area range, which is a bigger aspect of yourself in your life. And that's things like relationships, manifestation, study, body image. There's a number of essences, and they work on the bigger aspect of your energy and your vibration of how it affects a particular life area.
So, Christine, I mean, I understand that these can be very, quite beneficial to anyone using them. But what makes the Australian aromatic essences unique to, another aromatic essence out there?
Okay. Well, what's so unique about them is that there's really nothing out there at the same that work the same as the Australian aromatic essences. They're here for the new paradigm. So there's up to 100 ingredients in them. They're all pure and natural. They're made up of pure essential therapeutic grade essential oils and essences. There's not one chemical in them. And they're put together or they're formulated in a way that creates a certain vibration. And that is the distinction. So for an aromatherapist, they're quite different to just working with an essential oil. And when I say just working with an essential oils are beautiful and they have wonderful benefits for people. I'm a qualified aromatherapist myself.
Okay.
However, the distinction with the Australian aromatic essences, they work on a higher vibration and they work with shifting the blockages and they work at a transformational level. So it's how they're formulated, and exactly that formulation creates a certain vibration, and that is what makes them quite unique and quite different. And they work on various levels, as opposed to some essences may work on an emotional level, may work on a spiritual level, but they're not necessarily transformational and shift consciousness.
So, Christine, thank you so much. If people want to find out more about the Australian aromatic essences, or find a bottle that they might like to use, where would they go?
Okay, well, the best place is at the website, which is your 3Ws, Australian Aromatic Essences.com. And you can contact me on the contact page. Just fill in your details and I can get back to you. You can also do the free online reading that I mentioned earlier in the interview, and you'll see a link that says free online reading, and just follow the steps, and you can do that at any time. And when you contact me, I can either put you onto a qualified consultant, or you deal with myself direct, or I can also let you know if there's a retail outlet close to you where you can go. And we can also conduct the introductory free snapshot reading over Skype or the telephone, or in person if you're in Melbourne. There are 2 clinics that I run, which is in Frankston in Melbourne and in Surrey Hills in Melbourne.
Excellent. Look, Christine, thank you again. And I believe next time we're going to be discussing another process.
Yes, there's 2 other aspects to Australian aromatic essences. There's the Inner Insight Mastery consultations and workshops and so on, which we'll be discussing. And this, separate to that, is the core issue elimination, technique, which is a consultation that is also very beneficial. And we'll be covering those off in 2 other interviews, I believe. Yeah, which will be great. Thank you, Harsha.
Thank you, Christine, and all the best. And I will catch you next time.
Thank you. Thanks for your time, Harsha. Bye bye.
Bye.